Hey, I'm Vinicius Berger.
I am Caio Santos, and welcome back to
The Journal! The Journal is a diverse show jam-packed with documentaries created by the broadcasting students of Centennial College.
Due to COVID, we are unable to come to you live. However, this year, we are grateful to be back in our state-of-the-art studio, right here at the Story Art Center.
So come hang out with us. We've got some great content, and you will find it here on The Journal. Today on The Journal, we'll be taking a look at 5 different documentaries made by some talented young filmmakers.
This episode is all about people and hobbies, whether it's about music producing or taxidermy. You're guaranteed to learn something new.
To kick off our show, we have something rather strange. Grab a snack and relax. We have Oddity creator Victoria Madigan sharing her art with the world. But just a disclaimer, this film includes graphic content and may not be suitable for all viewers. This is life after death.
I want to inspire people to not see death as a bad thing. I know it can definitely be sad, and I know that pretty well from my line of work. Between the wildlife rehab and veterinary medicine, you know, death is an inevitable part of it, and I want to take that opportunity when it comes along and make it into something beautiful and something that can educate others and something that I can love instead of find sadness in. My name is Victoria Madigan, and I go by Dead Rooted on Instagram. I am a veterinary technician, and I also work with wildlife rehab. I also create oddities, and I'm an amateur taxidermist, and I make weird things out of bones and dead stuff. Like I said, I work in veterinary medicine, so everything that I do is cruelty-free and dead when we met, as I call it. Okay, so this possum my mom found at the side of our house, actually, a few months ago. He's a juvenile possum. He's in his first year of life. Fortunately, who knows why he passed. Maybe he was hit by a car. Not too much trauma to him. Where to go next? So I've found the anus, and I'm hesitant to cut it because we're in a garage and I don't want it to smell. So that might be something I leave last. Ta-da! So now we have a complete possum. Dorsal cut, male. Got most of the legs here. Still need to do quite a lot of defleshing, but there wasn't too much rot. Got all the tailbones are still in there as well. You could see all the trauma that he had from being hit by a car, unfortunately. This is not normal. This is all clotted blood and hematomas and that kind of thing. That definitely also made skinning him a bit more challenging in this area as well. And then what we have left is this. Quite gnarly. Thank you, Mr. Possum, for letting me learn from you. Appreciate you and love you. Look at your little balls. They're pretty cute. I think it's cute. Everyone probably thinks this is disgusting, but I'm like, I think it's awesome. I love anatomy. I love gross things. They make my life complete. So I find the concept can be very confronting to some people, but it's definitely been a variety of the work I do and the love I have for animals and the things that I have experienced and been exposed to that has led me to being okay and comfortable and finding beauty in the death and afterwards and bringing life and love back into an animal who would otherwise decompose or be left on the roadside or, you know, just be run over multiple times, but I'm here to pick him up and hopefully cherish him and love him and or her for the rest of my life and for as long as I have them.
Maybe that was the wrong time to grab a snack, but definitely an interesting perspective on art. It's amazing to see how something as sad as death can be turned into something so beautiful.
Time for something a little easier on the stomach. Let's check out our local relic hunter and YouTuber Pop Candan. We'll see how his passion for treasure hunting makes him outstanding in his field. Literally. This is the detectorist.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Popcat and Dan, and this is The Plan.
Man, we have a lot of fun doing this, I'm telling you. My name is Dan, better known in the metal detecting community as Popcat Dan. And I am a metal detectorist.
All right, got a coin in the hole, baby, got a coin in the hole. Looks large too. It was a perfect signal. It was 4 inches. It was funny because it wasn't going well on one side. Then when I just rotated just a bit, I got a perfect signal. There she is. It's thin. Oh, it's really thin too. Wait a minute, is that hole? This is nuts. 1820. How does that happen? That's the mystery of history.
A big part of the hobby as well for metal detecting is doing a lot of research, and it's an amazing feeling when you can do the research, find the place to go, get the permission, and go detect in that field, and you find some old relics. There's nothing like that feeling in the world. It's not easy to get permission on people's properties because you're essentially going up to somebody's house and you're knocking on the door and you're asking them if they mind that I dig holes on their front lawn. It's probably the toughest sale you'll ever get. So the property we're going to now is one of my favorite permissions, and they're very kind people, and the really neat thing about this place is it's the oldest history of this town.
So this property I've been detecting on, just over the hill down there, was the very first settler in this town from 1820. He built his house, and there was a path that came over the hill through this property and into the town. I think I found the path because I found an Irish Hibernia 1820 token. Man, I love this hobby. Nothing like it in the world.
Kyle, where did you go?
I've been looking for a new hobby.
I'm sure you could learn a thing or two from Popcan Dan, but I think you should stick to what you know best, cameras.
Speaking of cameras, let's sit down with local cinematographer Paul Steinberg and find out how his passion for cameras took him from government housing to starting his own company. This is Cameraman.
Let's do it. Here it is.
My name is Paul Steinberg. I'm a cinematographer based here in Toronto, and I've been doing this for 20 plus years now. My very first start was I was 15 years old. I was able to get a co-op in Barrie, Ontario, where I grew up. I got a co-op at a local elementary school because there was only one TV station in the city and there was no way to get in there. So I got a co-op videotaping class projects. I knew what I wanted to do from a very young age. I wanted to work with cameras. And honestly, even as a young kid who was into punk rock and skateboarding, I just did not fit in a small town. So I left home when I was 16 and I moved to Toronto to follow this dream. Me, being the ultra cool kid that I was, wanted to get into computers. My start was just being able to know how to type and typing envelopes at a community cable station. I was working at the movie network when I was young, and they laid off a third of their staff one day, and I was part of that. So I banked, all the money I could. I saved up for my first Betacam, which was the only camera at the time. That's how I ended up going freelance. When I was first starting as a freelance cameraman, the opportunities that were available were in sports. I was not a huge sports fan, but that was an opportunity to get in and to work with cameras, and so I took it. So where all the other camera operators, back in the day, would take their cameras and their tripods and they would set up at center ice kind of high up. They would shoot practice from there, period. But for me, I loved working with cameras. So I would walk around the arena and I would find low angles, and the players are running the same drills. So I would look, okay, we're trying to focus on that player. I'm watching that player, seeing what he does in this drill. Okay, so now I can visualize what the best angle would be for that. So I've rehearsed it a couple of times. Now when the player comes, it's his turn to run the drill, I get it perfect. It was an opportunity for me to increase my skill as an operator and, allowed me to move up and move up and move up in my career. Fold this, swings away. The hardest thing for me to overcome, I think really in my life, was just breaking the cycle of poverty. Growing up in government housing, I thought, things were just so limited. I thought my future was maybe having a job at Red Lobster, and what I've been able to do is beyond comprehension to, that young man that I was. But, I was very lucky at a young age that I somehow found punk rock. Punk rock, of course, led me right to the Ramones. And at 15 years old, I took the Greyhound bus from Barrie, Ontario to Toronto. I saw the Ramones at the Diamond at age 15, and it changed my life. And to have somebody, in this case the Ramones, show you that if you just wanted something bad enough, you could do it. It wasn't going to be easy, but they showed that you could do it. That absolutely changed my life, and that's the biggest thing I overcame in my life, and everything else seems like it's been downhill ever since I got out that window. It's cliche to say that it's beyond my wildest dreams, but I could not comprehend, as a young person, doing anything even remotely close to the projects that I'm doing now.
I'm glad we've gotten to see so many interesting people today. It just goes to show how everyone we meet is different and unique in their own way.
It's important to stick out in the crowd nowadays. This next documentary features local music studio Foreign Wave and their quest to stand out in the fast-growing Toronto music scene.
Do you think they would listen to my mixtape?
To be the biggest brand in the world, biggest production team in the world. I wanted to go past the country. I want to go all over the world and open studios and just kind of be the biggest production team. It's like a chain. I want to be like McDonald's, just a chain of studios all around the world, Foreign Wave,
Let them know to come check for me. 2 birds, 1 stone, that's my recipe. Get money like a treasury. Do a sold out show as a mezzanine. If I call her, she gon' do it for me one time. Got the drop, all my soldiers on the front line. Told them to stop, we gon' hurt them like it's drumline.
I just love music. That's what really wanted to make me own a studio, is I just love music, and I know what I could bring to the table. I know what my team provides for other artists. I don't think there's really anyone that provides what we provide at the studio. Like, it's just a different experience. You come here, you can get beats on spot. You have, people with the biggest credentials in the game. So for me, when we came up with the idea to create Foreign Wave, because first we were a production team. We just wanted to sell beats and kind of do our own type of beat website and do stuff like that. But we realized that if we opened up our own studio, we have our own client base, we have our own people we know, we have our own networks, and if we put all our heads together, we could probably be successful. And so far, things have been good.
Does it sound good though? Yeah,
I think I'm happy with it.
okay. I'm down to try Ozone on the medium intensity.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't really realize how important an engineer is and the difference it can make to your music. An engineer basically defines your sound, and it'll essentially set how good your music is and how professional it sounds. So someone like Dubs is the best engineer in probably the world, in my opinion. And what he does to my voice, what he does to, Law's voice, is really what really makes her sound. So that's really the difference.
Working with someone that's experienced is a huge asset to any type of music you make, for sure. The engineer, he creates a vibe, he makes you comfortable, he helps you sound the way you want to sound instead of you trying to figure stuff out at home. I'll be completely honest with you, you can find a lot of great equipment, set it up at your house and get the same quality. But if you don't have the right person behind the keyboard doing what you want, or that has that experience, you're gonna either take a very, very long time to make one record, or it's just not gonna come out the same way.
Everybody that's a part of Foreign Wave, what they're able to provide, they're other than just making a beat, it's that home feeling. You feel like when you get home, when you walk into your house, it's like that. You feel right at home.
You fucking see it, man? You know how we coming? Crazy. That's dope.
It's a safe environment to make mistakes. You know, like as an artist, you're never gonna be perfect right off the bat. When I'm done my take, I'll just, you know, hey Dubs, like, how did that sound? He'll be like, he'll tell me honestly, he'll tell it to me straight. He's not a yes man. None of us here are yes men, which is like what I love. I love that honest feedback, and it's always constructive. It's just such a great environment to record in.
Consistency is super key. Consistency is not a problem with us anymore. So it's creating that workflow, getting the ball rolling. We've gotten the ball rolling. It's like a snowball effect, right? We're going downhill, and the snowball is just getting bigger and bigger. The snowball has already been pushed, so it's just a matter of time now.
Just keep making hits, you know, get some plaques. That's the goal right now. I want to see plaques in the studio. We just opened, right? So we're working on that. But there will be a day in every Phone Wave studio, you will see a platinum plaque. Many of them. So that's what's next.
I told him get back. Well, I'ma have to let you go. I can't defend that. Is that a setback? I need this money on the road. You can't forget that. Oh, you forgot that? I can never show my.
Props are Foreign Wave for breaking into such a hard industry. I can't wait to see how they grow.
Right? So many interesting and talented people today. But it's time to take a break from people and dive into a closer look at places.
Have you ever wondered what happens when people move out of their old homes and buildings? What happens if there's nobody to move in? One of our crews was destined to find out.
Let's watch to see how they took their own try at the wild hobby that is urban exploring. This is Abandoned Living.
So we are on our way looking for a spot. We're just trying to find somewhere secluded. We don't want too many houses or people around.
I'm kind of new to this hobby. I've never really done it before.
Yeah, so the unspoken rules are like not sharing locations of abandoned places. Leave what you find there. You don't really like, it's for everybody to explore and not, you know, to take as their personal keepings.
I'm a little nervous. This is my first time exploring. So this is an old schoolhouse, 1864.
Ready?
Wait, where's the upstairs access?
I don't think there is, man.
Shit!
This house looks a bit more modern. Definitely probably I'd say like 70s or 80s. I don't know what that is. It looks like a chicken coop or something.
That's concerning. Seeing flies on the inside? Like, is there a dead thing in there? I really want to get in.
Alright. Haven't done this in a while. Oh lord, it's gonna be difficult.
It's cold in there.
Dude, there's a cassette tapes here. Look at this. We got Journey. Like full cassette tapes, dude. Journey's greatest hits. Rolling Stones, Pearl, Chronicle, Elton John, Who? AC/DC?
Oh, that's so cool. There's an old picture.
Yeah, that.
I'll take a pic of the picture. Look at the doors underneath.
No way. There's gift certificate for expires 1995.
Shit.
Mr. Delicious.
Today has been really like eye-opening. Just going into a place and just putting yourself in that place in a different time period. Like people when they lived here, like what did this house look like when it was so alive and full of life, and like what did this schoolhouse look like when there were kids in here learning, and you know, just looking at the carpet and the wallpaper and the furniture and like just really putting yourself in that era. It's beautiful.
Okay, so it's just a road. You see what we're walking in right now? So in places like this, you kind of like see their interests and whatnot. Like, I found like at least 5 of these in the house. A Reader's Digest, condensed books of like a bunch of different stories. This is a book, Reflections on Man's Inner Life by the Monk. So you kind of learn about who they are. That is cool. Like in a lot of abandoned houses, me like and my girlfriend went to, like for some reason there's always still like paintings up and stuff, or like wallpaper, whatever it is. It just never seems to like, nobody ever seems to ruin it because it's like art.
This is a huge house, and like it sucks to see it so run down. Like people have just completely trashed it, but it's absolutely humongous, and if it was like well done, it would be a nice house.
I don't know, is there like a big mushroom there?
What an exciting hobby. With everyone staying inside nowadays, it's heartwarming to see how we can still explore locally and uncover stories in our own communities.
That's exactly what we are, storytellers. There are many stories dying to be told. That's why I love this show so much. The world deserves to see all the pumpkin dance and weird art.
Not to mention undiscovered music and forgotten buildings. You're right, Kyle. The world would be boring without these amazing stories. Thanks for watching with us, but more importantly, learning with us.
Once again, I'm Caio Santos.
And I'm Vinicius Berger.
And this has been The Journal.